One thing that I just don't ever want to do, I don't tap these families on the shoulder to re-record with them. If they feel like it's time and it's right and they've got a message, then we're open to that. But I think we both agreed a long time ago we are not exploiting.
Yeah, and we didn't. And, last week, Tim reached out to me and said, I'm ready.
That's it.
And it just had to be in his time.
Warning. The podcast you're about to listen to may contain graphic descriptions of violent assaults, murder, and adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to the Murder Police Podcast. Finally. David, tell all of our listeners, viewers, etc. Where have we been hiding?
Yeah, that's a good question, because we have been kind of off the air, I guess you could say, for months. I know we've gone a few weeks at a time without putting any material out, but this was a long stretch. Been hiding, exactly.
We didn't even get to go anywhere good to hide.
That's true. Yeah, we were kind of like in moving hell, is what it was. Is that?
Yeah, we moved.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Big deal. If you know anybody that wants 6 acres on a small hobby farm that is ideal for horses, ours is still for sale. But now we're in another house just a few miles away, still in the same nice rural county in Jessamine County in Nicholasville, which we love this town. But moving just was enough to almost destroy your soul. Would you agree?
It crushed my spirit.
It crushed my spirit too. And to the fact that I think we've agreed we'll die in this house. We're not packing up and moving again.
Right here in this house.
So that said, it was a matter of finding out, once you found this beautiful place that we're in and you'd knocked it out of the park like usual, is finding that, and then the packing, the organizing, the hiring the movers, the moving things. Yeah, exactly. Unpacking and then preparing.
The unpacking took longer than the packing, because you don't know where anything's going to go in the new house.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I was on the phone with a guy today, and I was like, let me call you back because I know what I'm looking for, and I had to find it. I just couldn't remember where he put it. So you get in, but at the same time, you're completely evacuating the old house and getting it ready to be shown by the realtor. Mm-hmm. Horrible. So that said, the podcast thing was all dismantled. The studio was dismantled. Everything was up in what I call the travel boxes or travel crates for when we go shoot remotely. And I guess, a couple of times I thought, can we put something together? But we were honestly just really that buried in hustling to move.
Well, and on top of all that, we still have, my whole real job that we had to do in between time. Amen. You were still out on the road. So
that's true. Yeah, I was still
traveling.
It
was just kind of getting stuff done when we could get it done. So,
as a matter of fact, I remember when we found the house, it was like magically I had 3 weeks when I wasn't on the road. That never, just out of natural, I didn't have to cancel anything. So that worked out good too. So, so we've been in the house for a little bit, and we're kind of settled in, and we're putting the new studio together with a little bit of different equipment and whatnot, and the arrangements are different. And then, I thought I was going to be able to get us some material put out in the last few weeks. And then I got knocked with I was in Coatesville, Pennsylvania the week before Christmas working, woke up on Thursday morning and had a revisit from an old friend called cervical nerve damage, where I've had that several years before, a few times before, where you wake up and you remember years ago, I thought I had a torn rotator cuff.
Yeah. I think it's just the common man cold.
Yeah, it's worse than the common man cold. But for that is that, sleeping, it just doesn't happen. And there's, without crying too much about it, there's really not any medication you can take to dull it. And as odd as it sounds, I've told you before that one of the most difficult things is to pet the dog or to use a mouse. And that sounds weird, but it's like I still have strength in that arm and my right arm, but to move a mouse, you've seen me start and having to stop. Mm-hmm. And then same thing with the dog. It's like I'll get up in the morning and right at that angle to pet her with my right hand hurts. That said,
I'm no doctor, but I'd suggest using the other.
Yeah, well, I do. Yeah, for sure. But I'm just telling you that's how bad that pain is on that. So that said, we finally kind of got things settled in here the other day and thought we can start.
Yeah.
And so what we want to talk a little bit about is, we left off with being finished with season 12, which was a pretty good season. We're starting season 13, which that'll be nothing but best of luck. And even though 13's an unlucky number, is that some of the stuff that we have planned, I think people are really going to like. Very unique stuff. It's, some of the casework that we have planned. But looking back, we got all the animals safely rehomed for people that are wondering about that. The minis, my quarter horse, the chickens, all the
way down to the chickens, we found good homes.
Oh yeah, for sure. Very good homes. I'm pretty sure they're not in that crock pot right now. It's because of who we found. And then, the only animals that came with us that we know of so far is Becca the dog and Figueroa the cat.
Yes.
So they've all settled in and doing well. Season 12, some of the stuff that we talked about in that is we finally had an opportunity to produce Linda Price's missing case. She went missing around the same time as Michael Gorley did about 10 years ago, coming on 11 years now. And we got to record that with Linda's mother and her son, two fantastic people.
Yes.
Hopefully one day we get to have them back on for an update, but they, like all of our guests, so well spoken, and I think we got to know who Linda was. And we had Detective Eddie Pearson back. I know.
Eddie, if you're watching,
I know.
You're just awesome. And I'll still say his poor wife.
Yeah, but he's amazing and so well spoken, so learned. He came back this time. He had done polygraph before, and he came back with deception detection.
Yeah,
and again, I'm telling you, I did that for a living, but I'm like on the edge of my seat. He named things.
All you can do is just close your eyes or look down at your feet and don't even make eye contact with the man.
Maybe
He's going to read your soul.
He is. He does. So we did that one. That's worth it. Then we did 2 episodes on the other project that I finished in June. Is Scott Harvey came back in and hijacked the show again. Speaking of Harvey, is his show. And we did a couple episodes, just me and him talking about my book, True Crime and Consequences, which if you haven't got it, please go to Amazon and grab it. It'll be worthwhile. But we did, so you can go back and see what the context of the book is with the interview with him. And then we went back to our 3 things concept again.
Yes.
We try to space them out because I know that not all the audience is crazy about them because we promise we do have real cases coming. We're in good shape on that. But we covered Karen Reed, and we asked, is this generation's O.J. Simpson? And, of course, on YouTube, just an avalanche of comments and stuff and community, which is what we're looking for. Hot button case. Either people are in Karen's camp or they're not. And it's one of those things that that's an enigma that will go on forever. We did, after that one, we reproduced a case for a beautiful family that I love in Louisville on Rhonda Day. Rhonda Day's been missing out of Louisville, I think, for about, if I can remember correctly, roughly about a decade as well. And we had done an audio interview with them back before we were actually filming a whole lot. But the family reached out, and they wanted to see if we could try to pull it off again. And I'd been wanting to try to do a press release to get the media interested in going back and interviewing these people again to keep that case alive. So we did what I think was a new style for us, a documentary style. I think it looked good. The audience can look for more of those to come because I really enjoyed producing those. But I think it worked out pretty good because for Rhonda Day and her family is the media did pay attention. And if I remember correctly, 3 of the local media outlets visited the family, interviewed them, and reproduced and shot the show again. And that's what this is about. Can we get people to stay interested in these? And then we turned right around and did another 3 things on Susan Smith. That was one of them that you felt passionately about.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a mother that wouldn't feel passionate about that. And again, that was an avalanche of comments and community on YouTube specifically with people that should she ever get out of prison, because I guess she was coming up for parole and it was in her sights, and that's always a big deal. So that kind of wraps up where we were with season 12 with all of those episodes, and season 13 is going to be a lot of fun as well. We can go ahead and tell people that the next episode that we're going to drop is, if you remember, Whatever Happened to Little Timmy, several episodes, 7 or 8 last year.
I think it was maybe 9.
Maybe 9. Yeah, I'd have to look back and see.
It was a lot. That's the most we've ever done.
It is, but we had the opportunity.
That case was just crazy, and there were so many people.
Right.
To interview.
Well,
really,
there were so many people,
family.
friends and family that loved Little Timmy, and the idea that they humanized him so well in that. And so what's going to come out, the next episode that you'll be able to download will be an update with that.
We actually just met with them a couple of days ago, so it'll come out.
Tim and Ashley.
Yeah.
And there are some major updates. Now, I will tell you that in the linear timeline, the updates occurred several months ago. So a lot of people may have followed it in local news. But if you didn't, you need to listen to the show.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag what the updates are, but they're profound and big updates. And the reason it took us a while, too, is not only because of the move, but, one thing that I just don't ever want to do, I don't tap these families on the shoulder to re-record with them. If they feel like it's time and it's right and they've got a message, then we're open to that. But I think we both agreed a long time ago we are not exploiting.
Yeah, and we didn't. And, last week, Tim reached out to me and said, I'm ready.
That's it.
And it just had to be in his time.
That's it. Yeah. So the news, people, if you're not aware of it, go back and start listening to those episodes of Whatever Happened to Little Timmy. This is big. It's huge. But it's important that these people do that on their time. If there's anything that we're giving them and an opportunity to metabolize this, that's that. Also got some other cases. There's some things I've been stirring in the pot that are out of state that we've got to get to that we're going to have to anchor in and finish. And now that we're kind of settled in and I think I'm on the mend, we'll be able to do that. I know one that we're going to be interviewing a former detective very soon about an amazing case of an 18-year-old woman that was killed by an over-the-road truck driver here in Kentucky years ago. And we'll just leave it at that. It's a profoundly powerful case, and it will leave people with a lot of questions on how that happened and what happened with it. So tons of stuff coming, And we'll make that offer that we do sometimes again, too, is that if you have a case that you feel strongly about, run it by us and see if we can make the logistics work. And if it fits both of us for who we are and what we're doing, we'd be glad to look and talk about that and see if we can produce a case with you. That's always an option, too. Now, we've done some public things. You've been with me on some you haven't because you weren't available or whatever. But part of that book launch on that True Crime and Consequences is book touring and signings and promotions and things like that. So it was neat how we had some people that were very helpful on that. For example, just to thank a few people, Jack Patty with WVLK, had me on the radio show. We are going to be on his show again, I'm pretty sure. He likes it when we come on. The only thing stopping us from being like regulars would be me being on the road so much, but we'll be back on Jack. And then also I actually got to do a book signing out in Texas at the Salty Boutique and Books in Texarkana, Texas. And that was just to have somebody host a place and make it available to have people come meet and sign the books was incredible. So for my friends at Salty Books, thank you very much. Locally, the Kentucky Bookstore in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. And since that's real local to our local audience, if it's housed inside of their gourmet store in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, got to go visit them.
I did go to that one.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That was a lot of fun.
It was fun. I mean, we had a lot of people there.
Yeah, we had a line out the door practically.
You probably never felt so famous in your whole life.
No, probably not. Probably won't again. Probably. So thank you to the Kentucky Bookstore. I'd highly recommend them anyway for anything like that.
It was just a very neat, eclectic little store. It had books, but then they also had like desserts that were made locally and preserves that were made local. They just had so much stuff.
Yeah, and it's in Lawrenceburg. What a beautiful city.
Yeah.
What a beautiful city.
It was a lot of fun.
After that, I jumped on a plane and headed out to Grapevine, Texas. A little bit after that, I got invited to attend the Horror Book Fest hosted by Talking Animals Bookstore in Grapevine, Texas. And they had a brewery that we had it at. And that was huge, too. There were they had lots of authors there with what we'd call pop-up tables. And then I was invited to speak on a panel to talk about true crime and got to meet another author, but a producer as well, named Claire Santamam. And she has a book. I'm just going to recommend it to people right now because I read it cover to cover very quickly, called Killer Story. Claire has been in the background on one of those people that produces your favorite true crime shows on network TV. And her book is about what that looks like on the back end, and it's crazy. It's amazing. Her experiences, like trying to hunt a story, are much like a detective's. That said, that was a really good thing to go attend and meet a lot of people, moved a lot of books and whatnot too. We both went to Tate's Creek High School. Yeah. Larry Dean Casey invited us out there for his criminal justice class. That's something we like doing, to talk about true crime and whatnot. Good group of kids out there. And then we got really blessed too with a real quick thing from WLAX 18 here in town as they came. I went to their place and we interviewed and talked about the book. And that parlayed the next morning. What was great about how they timed that is I have to make a real big thanks to a couple people in town that you and I both know. Erica Free with the Lexington podcast.
Yeah.
And then Chad Walker with the Warehouse Block. And Chad and Erica hosted that meet and greet live podcast, book signing, book launch here in Lexington, which was well attended as well. And I was flattered. The humility meter was pegging. Chad is just a terrific fan. And just on his own, he just decided to, hey, why don't you come out here? And they had pizza. They had
had pizza and
they
drinks.
Had a list of special
The drinks. I loved how they named the drinks after, like the Luck 'em Down Judy drink.
Yeah, they had a Luck 'em Down
And they even
Judy.
asked what was our favorite drink. And that was like the signature drink. It was so cool.
So Erica and Chad, thank you from the bottom of our heart. That meant a great deal to both of us.
And I do have to say, not that any of the people that attended were any more important than anybody else, because we were grateful to have so many people show up. But I do have to say, my heart got a little warm when I looked up and saw my very favorite Cassie Robinson there.
Oh, yeah. The deputy
I love
coroner
Cassie.
of Jessamine County.
And I just have to say, Cassie's getting ready to run for coroner of Jessamine County. And I know that all of our listeners aren't from there, but we had Cassie on early on when we did, what it takes to be a coroner.
Exactly.
And we had her on with the coroner, Michael Hughes.
Back off of that, you've
and
got
now,
another
of course,
neat
Cassie's
personal
going to
project
be
that's
running.
kind of off of
I
I am too. I'm excited for
I'm
it.
just
She'll
going
be
to
wonderful.
bring that in my back right now.
we
It's
have to
just a
share
great.
it. We have to share it.
Well, a lot of people don't know. We try to not share a lot of personal stuff about us on here, but for years I have been a Jimmy Buffett.
Oh, for sure.
For years, just as my director would call it, obsessed. She said, I think it got worse after he died. It probably did.
Mm-hmm.
But, I love Jimmy Buffett. I love his music. And, he passed September 1st of 2023. And so I was really thought I had to tribute him somehow. Because he brings so many smiles. His music, how can you just not be happy? So I was too afraid to get a tattoo because, I'm horrified of needles.
Right.
Although I did see some really cool tattoos on different Jimmy Buffett sites, and Margaritaville Parrot had sites on mine. But I just couldn't do it. I was too afraid. So I went and I tributed to him. I found just the brightest gecko green Jeep and put my idea to work and found a really great graphic designer. And I detailed the entire Jeep. It's just done and everything Jimmy Buffett. So I went ahead and got my own Facebook page called Buffett Jeep Girl. Please look me up and follow my adventures in this Jeep.
Yes, for sure. Go to Facebook tonight and do that.
Yeah, go to Facebook. Please like it and follow it. You'll make my head swell as big as that one since
and the
he's
hashtag
got the book.
that you use is Buffett Jeep Girl?
Yeah, Buffett Jeep Girl.
Hashtag Buffett.
And so, it just is the journeys of that. So every now and then I'll throw a Buffett quote in there. But so, I've had this Jeep in some different Jeep shows. I've taken it to Margaritaville and a couple of places and they've loved it. And I went down this past year and Labor Day, our past Labor Day weekend, they did a big second line parade for Jimmy Buffett. And of course that's, his stomping ground down there, not where he's from, but certainly where he got his start. And so I took off down there and they made me promise next year for that parade to flatbed the Jeep down because I'm not doing that drive.
That's a long drive.
And have that lead the parade. So I'm so excited it's supposed to lead the parade if all works out. But, I just was listening to Radio Margaritaville one day on Sirius XM radio, and they feature every week a fruitcake on the radio. And every week I'll listen to it and people tell their tales of how they're the biggest Jimmy Buffett fan and why and, what his music meant to them. And you get to play 4 songs. So I was sitting there one day and I thought, you know what? I know that he has tons of fans, but maybe they're not as crazy as I am with doing a Jeep. So what the heck? I'm going to try. So I decided to message JD Spradlin, who heads up the Fruitcake on the Radio show. Among his daily show on Radio Margaritaville. I submitted pictures of the Jeep, told him what a big fan I was. And the next day he emailed me and told me, we got to get you on the radio. So we did. And I recorded that last week. And so this Friday, January 16th, the debut, I think at 1:00, it's going to be on. And then 3 other times the following week. I believe it's a total of 4 times. So I'm so excited. I sat right here in the studio and recorded it via Zoom with JD. So if you have SiriusXM Radio, Radio Margaritaville's on Channel 24, and you can hear me talking about my 4 songs and why they mean to me, what they mean, and I'm the next Fruitcake on the Radio.
Yeah, that's too cool.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, that is over that, because I know you're super excited about that. I'm super excited to hear it too.
Yeah.
Well, what's really neat about that with the Key West thing is that I think we'll be there before the Jimmy Buffett parade at some point, because we like going down there. But I just got a message the other day from Anna Slavin, who's a shout out to Anna.
Yes,
big fan.
Anna, we've
hooked up and had
meeting her and her
lunch
husband.
and dinner with her and her husband
great.
in Key West. So that's our Key West ambassador is Anna Slavin. So she'll be excited about that too. We'll have to make sure that she knows we're coming. So when you said that, is the first thing I thought of it was Anna and her husband.
Yeah.
So that'll be good news. Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
You're serious.
Thank you.
Are you serious?
Please.
Yeah.
I'm very serious.
Yeah.
Please go listen.
Yeah, go. It's 2 days.
And don't forget, go like Buffett Jeep Girl on Facebook.
Oh, yes.
And watch those adventures that I take.
Oh, for sure. Go right now when we get done watching this and do that too. Speaking of doing things, what we'll wrap up with is a few things that we'll ask. Is that one, we've always loved the support, the downloads, we're still pinching ourselves at what the metrics look like for just something that we stitched together here at the house. It's a lot of fun. But if you haven't done it already, in addition to going to Facebook and finding Buffett Jeep Girl and liking that, please go to the YouTube and find the Murder Police podcast channel and subscribe to us there. We've grown there quite a bit, but we're interested in continuing to grow there as well. Buy David's book, my book, True Crime and Consequences. Let me say that again.
David's
I know
book.
I just slid out because it's on the notes that way.
You should totally leave this. That gives you a little glimpse into who David really is. Oh, yes. And don't forget to buy David's book, True Crime and Consequences.
Yeah, it's on Amazon and all your Barnes & Noble, all your finer reading material
You're
stores.
famous.
Yeah.
Almost as famous as me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, almost.
Nearly.
Yeah, exactly. Watch for appearances 2026. I'm going to change our website when I get a chance to add like where we've been and where we're going. A lot of those we do together when the schedules allow, but that'll continue too. I do know that in February for my local people, and I'll list this on there, is we'll be at the Clark County Library in Kentucky, in Winchester, Kentucky, for a true crime night there too. So that'll all be listed as well. Let us know if you got cases that mean something to you. Not all of them fit. We may not be the fit for you all the time, and likewise, but we'd like to entertain doing those, especially with my Kentucky people that are right here close to home where it'd be easier to produce. We're always interested in doing that too. And we'll throw this out there too, that if you're planning any kind of true crime event or discussion, anything like that, and we would be flattered and honored if we invited to be your guest to maybe participate in a round table and any kind of a talk, anything like that, or presentation, is that we would love to do that. And we always bring swag. People who have seen us do this, we bring swag. Nobody walks out without something from the podcast. And usually as of lately, I bring the book at a really severely discounted price. So it's not what you're going to pay at Amazon. So think about those things. If you'd like us to come, we'd love to come visit you. So that's all I've got.
That's all I've got. I'm excited for 2026 to see what we've got in the
Season 13, baby. Season 13.
Bringing out. And
yeah. Hang on tight. Hang on tight. All the good stuff is coming. So thank you again and take care.
Thank you.
The Murder Police podcast is hosted by Wendy and David Lyons and was created to honor the lives of crime victims, so their names are never forgotten. It is produced, recorded, and edited by David Lyons. The Murder Police podcast can be found on your favorite Apple or Android podcast platform, as well as at murderpolicepodcast.com. where you will find show notes, transcripts, information about our presenters, and a link to the official Murder Police Podcast merch store where you can purchase a huge variety of Murder Police Podcast swag. We are also on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, which is closed caption for those that are hearing impaired. Just search for the Murder Police Podcast and you will find us. If you have enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe for more and give us 5 stars and a written review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you download your podcasts. Make sure you set your player to automatically download new episodes so you get the new ones as soon as they drop. And please tell your friends. Lock it down, Judy.
Hey everybody, it's Wendy. In case you didn't know, David finally got off his butt and finished his book, True Crime and Consequences. The book is super educational and talks about the world of true crime and where it meets real investigations. It is perfect for everyone, from true crime fans like myself, to the true crime podcaster or YouTuber, to the amateur detective or web sleuth. And not to leave anyone out, you cops need to read this book too. True Crime and Consequences is available at murderpolicepodcast.com, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, well, pretty much anywhere you'd find a great book like this. So true crime fans, go get your copy today.